Hi, welcome to HATV. I'm Paul Malkmus.
And I'm Ann Malkmus.
You know, maintaining healthy weight on the healthy lifestyle is important.
Yes, it is.
Some people gain or feel they need to gain weight. Some people feel they need to lose weight. So we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Let's start with how do you gain weight on the Helia diet?
Well, you know, some people, they feel they've lost too much weight and they want to gain a little more weight back. And so there's a couple things we can do. One is strength-bearing exercise. Strength-bearing exercise really helps to build muscle. Muscle is heavier than fat would be, and so it helps to increase the weight. Dr. Malkmus did that, and he found himself increasing about 8 pounds, I believe, just by having weight-bearing or resistance exercise.
And if you ask him, he'll show you his muscles.
He loves pulling up his pant leg or rolling down his shirt and his sleeve and just flexing his muscles. He bangs on his stomach. Ooh,
yeah,
has a good time with it.
I would too if I had a stomach that was that pretty nice and
it's
like
76 years old.
And the other way that you can gain weight is to add a little bit more cooked food to your diet. Cooked food is noted to be having not a whole lot of, there are certain nutrients and vitamins in it, but mostly it's calories. So people who need to gain a little more weight can add more cooked vegetables.
Or have a little bit more fats, of the healthy fats, avocados, some of the healthy nuts. Of course, we'd want to soak the nuts most likely before we consumed them. But those things that have a little more fat in them.
Cooked pastas, maybe some cooked potatoes. And this is just in addition to your normal raw vegetables that you're eating on a daily basis.
Yep. So those type of things really do help to increase somebody's weight if they feel like they've lost too much weight and they want to increase it. That's not an uncommon thing, but typically what happens on the Helia diet, you know, somebody starts losing weight and they get back down to really what about is their ideal weight. And then within a short period of time, a couple months later, then they've usually increased back up to a few pounds higher than what their ideal weight would be. And so it's typically not something that you need to be concerned about, but if you do need to gain a little bit of weight, then you can utilize one of those two tips.
Now the second topic is, how do I lose weight and stay on the Helia diet?
Well, you know, a lot of people, they'll go on the Helia diet and they'll lose 10, 20, 30 pounds, and then they'll kind of plateau. And what we often want to do is make an adjustment in the diet. Some people will start eating breakfast or start eating smaller meals. And by breakfast, we're not saying ham and eggs.
We're not?
No. But we are talking about maybe having a green smoothie or something with some fiber in the morning, even though the ideal probably would be to not have any fiber because the body is still in a detox mode. That little bit of fiber will help to confuse the body and help the body to start shedding a little bit of weight.
So for some people, though, even on the Helia diet, there's a struggle. And it could be that they have maybe a thyroid that needs some support. So if you find that maybe you're having difficulty in losing weight and you're on the Helia diet and you're juicing and you're exercising, then you may want to consider some thyroid support. You can do that in terms of an iodine supplement. You can get a blood test and that will help you determine if in fact you do have any issues there, or you can just begin to take an iodine supplement. You can do that through a supplement, or you can begin to add sea vegetables to your diet, and that's another way for you to be able to add iodine.
You know, another thing that you can do is also break up your meal or have meals more frequently. So instead of having a large meal twice a day, you may have 4 or 5 smaller meals a day. And again, that just kind of shifts the body up and starts to activate the whole system a little bit more.
The other thing you want to do is when you are on the Helia diet, keep an eye on how much fruit you're consuming, and also how many nuts and what type of nuts and fats you're consuming. Although they are technically considered good quality fats, they still have a high calorie content, and if there is difficulty in losing weight, perhaps there's too much fruit or perhaps there are too many nuts that we consume throughout the day.
Even backing off on some carrot juice might help to reduce the sugar intake, because that sugar may actually be preventing you from losing the weight. And again, it just kind of mixes things up a little bit.
And remember to start moving. If you feel that the diet itself isn't giving you what you need, then please pick up the pace.
And again, back to resistance and strength building exercises. Getting that resistance, it will help to stimulate the body and the whole digestive system or metabolism. That's the word I was looking for. Because that strength-bearing exercises, after you do the exercises, you build muscle. Then every time you move, your muscles are actually working more, which then stimulates the metabolism. So that strength-bearing exercises, it just doesn't yield benefit at the gym, it also yields benefit as you're getting up out of the chair, as you're sitting down, as you're moving around. It yields benefit throughout the day.
So actually what I'm hearing you say is these strength-bearing exercises will keep us more mobile, more flexible, more agile as we age.
And we hear a lot of ladies say, well, I don't want to become all bulky. You know, you see sometimes those images on TV where you've got this big bulked up woman. And really what we need to do is just do more reps and use less weight. So instead of doing, 8 to 10 reps that a guy might do, a lady might do 15 reps so that it's really stretching and toning the muscle rather than building the big bulky muscles.
So if you're looking for that perfect size, or you want to get back to the size that you were at a different time in your life, it isn't just the food that we eat, it has to be the mobility and the movement and the exercise that we perform. If there's a person whose body you really like and you wish you had a body like that, believe it or not, it's not just the food they're eating. More than likely they're working, and they're working hard to get that body.
Well, if we're in the shape of a pear, so we don't have nice curves, that we would consider curves, we can lose weight, but that doesn't mean that we're going to get the curves back.
Or get the shape we're looking for.
We're just going to have a smaller pear.
Right.
And so what we need to do is we need to reshape the body, and to do that, we need to use resistance exercise.
So it's not difficult to lose weight. It's not difficult to gain weight on the Hallelujah diet. But even still, with both of them, exercise is of paramount importance.
Another important topic here from HATV. This is AM and PM. We'll see you next time.